Hi and welcome back to Sew Blessed by Jess, and today we're going to continue with our Freedom Quilt. We are making our pinwheels, and let me figure out, I gotta remember when I cut these down too, because I chopped them all up and then put them in this little container and off I went. Okay, each one of these squares are 6.5 inches all the way around. So I have the same amount of white as I do navy blue. Okay, so I'm going to teach you one way on how I make pinwheels. I'm making these oversized, and then we'll cut them down to the 6.5 unfinished size that we need them to be at. We need a total of 8 pinwheels for this quilt. And yeah, we're gonna go from there. So what I'm gonna do is I'll bring you down. I'll show you what we're gonna do and how we're gonna accomplish these pinwheels and go from there. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't, if you're just new to this sew along and this is your first video, we are working from the Quilt Builder Deck card deck. And you can find this on Amazon or any of your local quilt stores. There's 40 different blocks that are located inside. Some of them also have designs that you can make quilts with. It just gives you the cutting instructions. It does not tell you how to put them together. So on some of my videos, because some of them are a little bit intermediate and some of them are pretty beginner friendly, so it all depends on the block that you're accomplishing that day. Also, like this is the last block that we did. These, it comes in different sizes and it'll tell you on the back, so it's just not a one size fits all kind of block. This block finished, so in the quilt, ready to go, made, comes in a 6 inch, 8, 10, 12, and 36 inches. So if you wanted the unfinished size, just add a 1/2 inch onto it. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and flip you down and start working on the pinwheel. So like I said previously, both of these squares, this is going to make one pinwheel, measure 6.5 inches. So we're going to lay them right side to right side. Okay. Then we're going to sew a 1/4 inch around the whole edge of this block. Don't mind the coffee in the background. I'm always drinking something. Oh, am I shaking y'all? Maybe. So I usually run it off, come back, set it up, and just keep going around. I'm going slow for you guys. Oh yes. Oh, let's run it off. That's 3 sides. Oops. And one more. So now we're going to bring it back over here, and you can see where the intersections are, where on the corners, and I'm going to take just any ruler that will go from corner to corner, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. We're going to turn it. And sometimes this happens and you can still make it work. Let's see if I can just line these back up. Yeah, that's pretty close. I'm cutting it down anyways, so. All right. The next thing we're going to do is iron. All right, so I have my iron, and we're going to press to the dark side. And the dark side is meaning that the darker fabric is on top and the seam is underneath that fabric when we're pressing out. All right, one more. Okay. After we do that, we're gonna go, and these are called dog ears. We're gonna clip those off. Less bulk, the better. So we're gonna do all 8 of those. Okay. All right. Next step, make our pinwheel. All right, so the other pinwheels I have my white on the top. So we're just going to continue that. Because yes, I've made a couple more. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew down this seam right here. The line right up. And because of the way that we iron these seams at the corner over here, they'll nest. Right. So we have sewn the halves together, the two. So we're going to press everything to the darker side again. So everything's going towards the blue. And it's going to help us when we go to put our pinwheels together. All right, let me grab a needle or pin, a couple pins. All right. We're going to turn this around. We're going to look for the intersection or the point that they both come together, and we are just going to poke it with our pin. Okay. Now, I didn't make it, so I know that I have to bring it down a little bit. There it is. And now I'm at that corner, that intersection. Then I'm going to come to this side. We're going right to the point. Pin. And my fabrics are off a little bit just because I didn't correct the size of the block, the size of my half square triangles when I was making them, which is fine. We can still do this. Just got to overcompensate a little bit. Okay. I don't want this going anywhere. All right. So I have those pins. Now, when I'm going across the seam, you can slide that pin down. It'll get out of the way of your presser foot, and then you slide it back up. All right. Let's roll with it. All right, so I sewed my 1/4 inch seam. Let's get rid of these pins. I'm gonna cross our fingers and hope for the best. All right, warm up our seam so it's easier to flip back. All right, moment of truth. It's off a little bit, but it's okay. It is all right. You're never gonna notice it once you get it all quilted in and after you wash it that first time. The illusion is what we're going for. All right. So after that, we need to trim this guy down. And we are trimming it down to 6.5 inches. Now half of 6.5 is 3 1/4. So I'm going to take my 3 1/4 line and put it right down my vertical line. I'm going to take my 3 1/4 line and I'm going to go right across my horizontal. I'm going to take my 45-degree angle, my line, and match it up. So I have 3 points of references that I'm going to need. All right, now we're just going to have confidence and cut. I always cut towards the corner so I don't nick my corners. Okay, so now that I've done those 2 sides, we're going to flip it over. I'm going to flip my Creative Grids ruler around, put it on the 6.5 mark. Okay. Have confidence again. Cut it. And there is our 6.5 inch pinwheel. And we're going to do this 8 times. So after we've made 8 of these, we're done with making pinwheels. Isn't that pretty? I love a good pinwheel. Definitely love a good pinwheel. So, oh, you can also take the back and press it open instead of to one side, and it'll release some of the bulk because the center right here gets pretty bulky. And if you were to go over your, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and fix that. If you were to go over with your long arm and your domestic and you're quilting this guy, it might get stuck. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, so just like I promised you earlier videos, I'm gonna show you how this quilt is gonna go together. So I'm gonna flip you around and start taking pictures of how the quilt will get, the design of the quilt will go.